I'm back to Tell the Truth channel. Please like, share my content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what other content that y'all go on. I appreciate that very much. I am in Jesus and Jesus is in me. Now, like I said, the downloads that my daddy been giving me, this is another download. And this is a message that he want me to talk about. This is for the Board of Education again. It's about the Board of Education. It's for the teachers, the principal, the assistant principal. This is all about y'all. This is what my father want me to speak on. Now, y'all know these babies. All the way from Head Start, first grade, kindergarten, all the way up to the eighth graders. You know. Y'all know when the winter get here, it get cold outside. Like sometimes it get below zero outside. And the father be saying this. And y'all be asking, why the kids don't come to school? Because the kids be sick being outside in the cold. So let me tell you something. Now, these teachers back in the day knows this. Now I'm going to say something like this. Some of the teachers back in the day still living, some not. The ones when we was young always said they wanted to be teachers, and some of them have grown up to be teachers. Some became doctors, lawyers, whatever. Start their own business, whatever. But anyway, we used to always talk about how freezing cold it is outside. And back in our days, the parents used to buy us, what is they? Warmers, bed warmers, whatever the thing is to keep you warm, that you can wear outside and all that. Because back in the days, they had all that stuff back in our days. You could buy warmers. And they keep you warm when you go outside and all. And you got to worry about the cold hitting you. But in these days, they like pulling a lot of stuff off the market. And some of the parents can't afford it getting these kids warmers because these days, these people are just making these people be so in the poorhouse that they can't hardly buy no water. Because now you got to pay for water these days. Back in our days, you didn't have to pay for water. But now you got to pay for water. You got to pay for everything now back in these days. You got to pay for everything. And, that's kind of weird because why would God want us to pay for water? But that's what's going on. Paying for water and everything. So, these children's, like I said, back in our days, but I'm going to get to the children though. But back in our days, we used to go outside and play in the cold because we had the warmers to keep us warm. We can afford it. Our parents can afford it because it wasn't expensive back then. They can be able to afford that. And we go outside and play. Sometimes we didn't want to go out. Sometimes we did. Sometimes they let us stay inside the school. When it get too cold outside, they let us stay in the school, play in the gym room and all that stuff. So, our parents didn't have to worry about too much of us, staying home from school. Because like I said, we had the warmers. Used to keep us warm and all that stuff. And our parents always loaded us up with, cough serve and Castor. Kids don't like Castor. They don't like the taste because you can't taste it. So every time the parents try to put a little taste in that, the kids didn't like it. They go run and hide. But see, you gotta look at this. The castor cleans your system out. So let me tell you why it cleans out the system. Because they used to use it back in our grandparents' days, back in the ancestors' days, back in them days. And they taught our parents how to use remedies from their days in our days, you know. So we use the remedies that they used back in their days, we use it in our days. So we used to give our kids castor, you know, Father John, all that stuff. Keep our kids from being sick. Mentholatum says, because you know if you give them Vic says, that's open up their pores too much, and that'll make them sick even more. So it's always better to get a mentholatum because that works good for you. Rub it on your chest, on your feet, under your arms, all of this stuff. Make sure the babies got their, you know, pajamas on from the top of their feet, you know, all the way up to the body, and they be good, you know. And anyway, they used to do that back in the days. So these days, you try to use you try to use the remedies on these children. They scatter because they don't want to taste the stuff. They don't even like taking aspirins, especially if they not water aspirins. Now, if they aspirins that you got to take, pill aspirins, them kids scatter because they don't like to take aspirins. It got to be loose aspirins that they'll take. But if it's pill aspirins, the children scatter. They don't like taking pills. So, if they don't like taking pills, then they're not going to, want to take the, castor. So, back then with my kids, when I used to have them to take that castor, my kids used to scatter too. So I had to chase my kids all over the house, catch them, hold them down, and make them take it. Even though they didn't like it, I had to make them take it because it'd keep them from being sick. So, kids don't like things they can't taste. They got to have a taste to it. So, these days, the parents need to get the kids to castor because they keep them from, being out of school a lot. And the kids wouldn't have to be out of school a lot if the principal would tell the teachers not to release the kids out when it's cold outside. They should let them play in the gym room. Instead of letting them go out there in the cold. Like they think the kids can handle that freezing cold. Can't nobody handle the freezing cold. They can't even handle it. The grown-ups can't even handle it. So they want to throw the kids out there and then get upset when the kids don't make it to school. And they losing their pay because the kids is out of school. The kids is out of school because they sick. And you get them out there in the cold. And even when it's raining outside, you have them out there letting them play in the rain and then complain. Well, why the children ain't coming to school? They should be in school learning. They need to be in school. They don't need to be out of school. What you expect? They're going to be out of school if they're out there in the freezing cold. If they're out there in the rain, yes, they're going to be out of school. That's how you get sick. Being out there in the rain and in the cold when they should be inside the school playing. What do y'all have the gym rooms for? What is they there for? Just to sit around for decoration? Is that what the gym rooms is for? Or is the gym rooms for the kids to play around in and play? Ain't that's what the school is for? For the kids to go to school and to have something to do while they in school? That's what I thought school was for. So, that's what made children want to come to school. Because, see, if they come to school, if the kids, I'm going to tell you something, teachers. Let me tell you how the kids think. Because you was once children yourself, and you used to say the same thing as the kids say today, too. As they say what they say today, y'all used to say it back in the day. Sometimes we used to have good teachers. Sometimes we used to have crazy teachers. I'm just going to throw it out just like it is. I ain't going to pull no punches. I'm telling the truth. I'm going to lay it out there. So when the children have good teachers, they love to come to school because they got good teachers. They ain't got to worry about dealing with no crazy, whacked out teacher that got a problem. Every time you turn around, they got a problem at home. They want to come and take it out at the kids, like the kids in school got something to do with the problem that they have at home. They ain't got nothing to do with the kids in school. That's your problem. Handle your problem at home and leave that at home and come to school with some common sense. You know what I'm saying? Teachers, that the kids shouldn't have to deal with all of that. So the kids don't want to go to school. So they say, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go to school because I got a crazy teacher. But see, if they got good teachers, they're going to say, oh, Mom, Dad, I love to go to school because I love my teacher. I love my teacher. Because you know what? When I used to go to school, I used to love my teachers. I had kindergarten teachers. And my kindergarten teachers used to take us over to their house. We would sit there and we would read books and everything. Take us on trip. They would even ask our parents, come and get us on the weekends. They'll pick a couple of kids in the class and come and take us on trips on the weekends. Just to spend with the teachers. Just to spend with them. Meet their husbands and everything. They take us out to eat, go to the park, go to the zoo, everything. Go back to the teachers' homes and read books and everything. Yeah, they used to do that back in our days. Yeah, the teachers, when we was in kindergarten and all that stuff. I used to love my kindergarten teacher. I loved her. Because she would always come and get me and take me on their trips. And I used to love it. I did. And my mom used to mind. She didn't mind it, because she knew where we was going. We had to bring in, a trip slip, all that stuff. Let the parents sign it and all that. And then we go on the trips. Have a nice time. They would come and get us on the weekends. We enjoyed that too. At least we ain't have to deal with being around the neighborhood all the time. You know what I'm saying? We always had somewhere to go. Which we already had some fun. We already had things to do in the neighborhood anyway. But, when the teachers wanted to kick it with us, we was cool to kick it with the teachers. But see, now these days, the kids complain. They don't like certain teachers because you have, like I said, good teachers and you have crazy teachers. And the children's rather deal with the good teachers than the crazy teachers. So they shouldn't have that problem. All the teachers should be nice to their students. Shouldn't have to deal with no teachers that got a problem and they got problems at home and they got to bring it to the school. Them kids shouldn't have to deal with that. Shouldn't have to deal with that. But see, that's what they used to do. That's what they do. The kids don't be wanting to go to school. It's a lot of things why the kids don't go to school. If it ain't the kids that trying to start something with them, and the parents sending their kids to start up stuff with the kids, and sometimes the parents ain't sending the kids to start up with the kids. It's just sometimes you get some stupid children just like the one to come to school and start up stuff, stuff like that. And then you have the teachers, like I said. They have problems at home and they bring their problems to school when they should just leave it at home and don't be bringing it to the school. And that just make the kids don't want to go to school. So it's a lot of reasons why the kids want to be out of school. They be out of school because they're sick. They be out of school because the teachers. They be out of school because of the children. So there's a lot of reasons why the kids don't be wanting to go to school. That's even in our days. That's the way we used to feel. Sometimes we wanted to go to school, sometimes we didn't. Because sometimes the teachers had certain children that they love more than the other. They had that back in the days. Certain children that they would help and certain children they wouldn't help. And I know they do that right now today too. Certain children they pick out to help and certain children they don't even want to help because they feel that them children is slower than the other ones. So them the ones they throw away and help the ones that's already, know how to do the work. So they don't look at the children that need the teacher's help. They really need the teacher's help. They don't look at that. They don't look at the children's need, the ones that really need the teacher's help. They throw them away. But the ones that don't need the teacher's help, that got it all going on, them the ones they help. And they put the other ones on the side. And then they got to end up falling behind the other kids because the teachers ain't got the patience to deal with the children that really need them. They rather deal with the ones that don't need them than the ones that really need them. They're the ones that you spend time with. So back in our days, they used to have after school programs, like I said, where the teachers would talk to the parents, and then the ones that, was behind, the ones that already knew more, and the ones that was behind, the teachers would let them come to the after school programs and help the children, the ones that was behind. But these days, no, they don't do that. They don't even give the children's homework back in these days. You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part about it. What's going on with the Board of Education these days with these teachers and principals and all that stuff? The principal don't even probably even, I don't even know if they have a meeting with the principal, with the teachers, because these teachers don't give these kids homework, which they need to be giving these kids homework. Even if the kids is out of school, send them homework so they won't fall behind. Send them homework like they used to do nowadays. They used to have our parents, or have a student in the school that's live close to your house to bring you your homework. If your parents couldn't get it, they'll have one of the kids that that live close to your house to bring you your homework, so you can make sure you don't fall behind when you're sick at home from school. Therefore, they would have to call the parents, because they already know that the kids are sick and they're doing their homework because the parents is helping them, making sure they don't fall behind in school. But see, these days, these teachers don't give these kids homework. They don't give them homework. They just do their work and then send them home. And then when they sick, they still don't give them homework. Should have still given them homework while they sick and making sure they don't fall behind. But see, they don't do that. They don't do that these days. See, it's all about the money now. It's all about the money these days with these teachers. It's all about the money with the principal and all of them. It's just money. Because back in the days, the teachers loved their students. They put their all in trying to help their children back in the day. It wasn't about the money when it came to the teachers back in the day, because they weren't even making that much money back in the day. But they morally thought about the children than the money. Even though they did bring it up to the Board of Education about them wanting more money, but it was more about the children's learning, reaching their goals, so when they get older, they can become teachers, doctors, or whatever they want to be, and be appraised of their teachers. Because you know what? Back in our days, we remember our teachers from kindergarten, from Head Start, all the way up to kindergarten. Because the teachers back in our days was good teachers. And we remember them. Because I remember my first grade teacher and my kindergarten teacher. I remember them from when I was young. I remember them because they did a lot of things with me, And that's how you have good teachers, because you never forget them, because you remember the things they done for you. And you love them teachers, and you talk about them to your children. Because I used to talk to my children about the teachers I had. I told them how much I loved the teachers that spent time with me. I talked about them because I loved them. And see, that's what the teachers got to understand. If you would be right with your children will love you. They will love you forever. They will love you. So, thank y'all for listening to me. I'll be back to talk to y'all. There'll be a second part to this. Thank y'all for talking to me. Jesus love you, Father love you, the Holy Ghost, the angels, the ancestors, and I love y'all. And I will be back to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good day and a blessed day.